Hey everybody, my name is Paul A. Brooks. I'm a writer, director, professional editor for 25 years now, and somehow, some way, I'm in my own basement. So it's the season finale of the show, and if you'll indulge me for just a moment, I thought it might be fun to come down here and do something just a little bit different. Obviously, the basement is heavily inspired by the Criterion Closet, so I wanted to come down here and focus on some of my favorites in the Criterion Collection. Irma Vep. If you know me at all, you know that I love Irma Vep, the 1996 film by Olivier Assayas. Like a lot of other filmmakers, I'm sure, I am someone who loves films about filmmaking, and this is really one of the best. Stars the great Maggie Cheung, and this is all about sort of the trials and tribulations of making a movie and how it can be kind of disastrous sometimes. And what I love about this movie is, even though the film is obviously great, the movie that they're making, maybe not so much. It's very French. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I wanted one after watching this one. It's based on The Vampires from 1915. So if you really want to do your homework, you watch The Vampires first, then you watch Irma Vep from 1996, and then I have to mention this, even though it's not here in my collection, the brilliant 2022 remake, also done by Olivier Assayas, sort of tacking on elements of the original and of his 1996 film, and then adding on top of that with this remake starring the great Alicia Vikander. You can't go wrong. So check out, my recommendation is that you just do all of them. House. I'm surprised no one has talked about this down here yet, because this is a Criterion Collection classic. And I have a little bit of an odd, morbid story about how I discovered this movie. When I was living in LA a handful of years ago, my next door neighbor, I won't say it on YouTube, but my landlord eventually put out a lot of his stuff in the lobby because nobody showed up to claim it. It was pretty sad. I went out one day and I was looking through his stuff in the lobby, and I saw that he had this movie, which I was not familiar with at the time. And I said, I feel weird about this, but I'm going to take it. And I did. And then, oddly enough, I have to show you this. I opened up the case. $5 billion from, I can't read, Zimbabwe. $5 billion from Zimbabwe inside of the case here for House. I thought for a second that I was going to be a rich man. It turns out that $5 billion in Zimbabwe is like $3.30 here. So I'm not rich, but I do have House on Blu-ray. So thank you to my former neighbor who's not around anymore. It's an amazing movie if you've never seen it. House. Love and Basketball. Britt Lowery introduced me to this movie, believe it or not. For anyone who doesn't know, Britt is from right here in central Illinois. We were actually at her house in LA, and she said, we're gonna watch Love and Basketball. And my initial thought was, I'm not really much of a basketball guy. So I'm like, I don't really know. But I didn't say that, fortunately. I said, you know what? Sure, let's check out Love and Basketball. And I'm so glad that I did, because it's a movie that I really fell in love with. And it's all about sort of the intersection of relationships and ambition, and sort of figuring out a way to balance that when you're in college and playing basketball and, trying to make something of yourself. Thank you, Britt, for introducing me to it. You obviously, next time you're in town, if you are interested, you're welcome to come down to the Brooks basement. Maybe bring Adam Scott with you or something. I don't know. Exotica by Adam McGoyan. I just want to mention this real briefly. Incredible, mesmerizing movie about grief and how these different characters figure out different ways to manage it. I've been wanting to rewatch this lately, so if you want to come over and watch Exotica with me, let me know. Hands down, one of my absolute favorite movies in my entire collection, Portrait of a Lady on Fire by Celine Sciamma. I hope I'm saying that right. Just an amazing romance, lesbian period piece about these two women who fall in love under circumstances where they really can't be seen together and can't be falling in love. Heartbreaking. If you want to see me weep, openly weep at the end of this film, come on over, because it is really something. I will not spoil anything for you, but definitely, if you've never seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I think one of the best romance movies, gay, lesbian movies ever made. And last but certainly not least, I literally just picked this up yesterday afternoon because the 50% off sale is going on right now at Barnes & Noble, so I went out and picked this up so I could talk about it. Sentimental Value by Joachim Trier. Again, a film about filmmaking and sort of the trials and tribulations that come with that, particularly how it can have a big impact on your family life and your relationships with people in your family, because making movies is not easy, and you definitely see that in this film, but it's brilliantly done and got nominated for several Oscars. I think it won for Best Screenplay, if I'm not mistaken. Great performances in this. Stellan Skarsgård here, and I can't say her name. Renate Reinsve. The house itself really is a character, and I will not spoil it, but I was mad at the end of this movie because of some stuff that happens. Come on over to the Brooks basement and watch it. I will sit down and watch it with you. Okay, that's it. I want to say thank you to all of the cool people who came down to the basement this season to talk about some really great films. Shout out to Sharon, who gave me the idea for this. And thanks to you for watching this season. We'll be back next year with more. We also have some really special announcements coming up for Into the Night Motion Pictures, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time.